Hello and welcome to Grammar Bites. In this video we're taking a look at the second conditional. A lady looking very thoughtful and a bit disappointed. Her favourite band is in town tonight. She tried to buy a ticket. The concert is sold out. She is thinking, if I had a ticket, I would go. Does she have a ticket? No, she doesn't. Will she go to the concert? No, she won't. If I had a ticket, I would go. This is an example of a second conditional sentence. She is talking about an imaginary present situation. As we saw, we use a second conditional to talk about imaginary or hypothetical situations. These can be now or in the future. The sentences, like all conditionals, have two parts: a condition clause and a result clause. The result clause can come before the condition without changing the meaning, but remember to use a comma between the two clauses, but only when the condition is first. If I had a ticket, I would go. I would go if I had a ticket. They have the same meaning, but notice the comma in the first example because the condition clause is at the start. With second conditional sentences, we often begin the condition clause with if, and this is followed by either the past simple or the past continuous tense. If I had a car, I wouldn't need to wait. She doesn't have a car. She needs to wait. If it wasn't raining, I would walk home. It is raining. She won't walk home. In the second example, we use the past continuous to focus on the action in progress at the time of speaking. In the result clause, we use would plus the infinitive, verb 1, when we are certain of the result. I would log in if I remembered my password. It's certain he would log in. If they increased the pass grade, fewer students would pass this class. It's certain fewer people would pass. In the result clause, we can also use may or might plus the infinitive to talk about less certain results, when we are not so certain of the outcome. If they arranged more cycle lanes, the roads might be safer. It's not 100% certain that more cycle lanes equals safer roads. Life may be easier if I didn't work here. It's not 100% certain that a different job equals an easier life. We can also use could plus the infinitive in the result clause to talk about less certain results that involve the idea of ability. If I were studying this full-time, I could learn it much faster. Studying full-time means she would have the ability to learn faster, not that she definitely would. The streets could be cleaner if the authorities increase spending on rubbish collection. More money means we have the ability to keep the streets cleaner, not that they'd definitely be cleaner. The example on the previous slide used were with the subject I. Were used to be more common for the subjects I, he, she and it with the second conditional sentences. Was, however, is becoming more popular, especially in spoken English. Which people use is mostly about personal preference, but note that the meaning doesn't change, and both are correct. If I were studying this full-time, I could learn it much faster. If I were studying this full-time, the two sentences have the same meaning. Another example. More people might be at the gig if the band were more famous. This is the same as more people might be at the gig if the band was more famous. Remember, with the second conditional, was and were have the same meaning. In questions, sometimes with the second conditional, we only use half of the sentence, either to focus on the condition or the result. Here's an example with a conversation. We need to raise money to pay for the project. The other lady responds, "Would the banks help?" Here she is focusing on the result. The full question would be, would the banks help if we asked them? The lady on the left answers, "Maybe, but banks charge too much." The other lady asks another question, this time focusing on the condition. What if we asked businesses? The full question here would be, if we asked businesses, would or might they help? The lady on the left answers, but also only states the condition. Possibly, if we gave them free advertising. We know the result of this statement from the context. If we gave them free advertising, they would or might help. If we think the result is likely, we should use the first conditional, not the second. But sometimes, both the first and second are possible, depending on your point of view. Here is a basic example with a football match. If we won, I'd celebrate. This is a second conditional sentence. He thinks his team is not likely to win. Winning is imaginary or hypothetical. If we win, I'll celebrate. First conditional. This person thinks his team is likely to win. Winning is a likely, or at least a possible, future result. They're talking about the same team in the same match, but with different opinions about the possibility of their team winning. Another example with a business project. If we built the apartments here, we would have easy access to the train station. Second conditional. He thinks building in that location is unlikely. Perhaps something prevents this idea. If we build the apartments here, we will have easy access to the train station. First conditional. He thinks it's likely or possible. And one more example. If the government increased the fines, fewer people would break the speed limit. Again, this is a second conditional example. We think this is unlikely. There is probably no plan to increase fines. If the government increases the fines, fewer people will break the speed limit. First conditional. We think this is likely. Perhaps the government is already planning to do this. Now it's your turn. There's a link below the video for extra practice. Have a great day.